All right, welcome guys to the Trading Titans podcast. This is our 20th episode, believe it or not. So guys, lots of content to get through. If this is the first one that you're actually seeing, I would say go back to the beginning. But awesome stuff, some useful content on this particular episode. Today we're going to be talking about the initiator and avoiding sort of fake outs on the profile. Quite challenging sometimes if you're trading a little bit more long term and you're getting faked out over such a long horizon. It can be quite challenging in terms of how much pain you're willing to take, or how much of a hit you can absorb before the market moves in your favor, if at all, right? So there are a lot of challenges you have as a private trader and investor, and that's why I'm here to sort of help you get through some of those challenges based on some of my own personal experiences as well as a private investor and trader. And it is just the way it is, guys. There's no easy way to do this. Right, so today we're going to be talking a lot about that and how we can tackle the initiating buyers and sellers as we visualize those on the profile. And again, if you're completely and utterly new to profiles, just take your time through the podcast. But again, if you want to sort of really get hands-on with this and, you know, really start using it to your benefit and actually doing well with trading and getting exciting, then you probably need to look at our course on Udemy. I think that will be pretty cool because it's a good introducer. And we probably have one of the early courses on Udemy anyway, so it's perfectly fine. So just Google what we're doing on time price opportunity, market profile. So just learn market profile, time price opportunity, whatever search you can do. And again, obviously, you're picking this on the main marketprofile.org podcast. So or rather marketprofile.org blog. So you should be able to see on our homepage a link to the Udemy course. So just basically send us an email and we'll send you the link so you can access the Udemy course at the very, very cheap price that is out on the homepage. Okay, so guys, it should be an awesome watch, and I hope you enjoyed. So if you decide to go that way to sort of get yourself up to speed, then please do, and don't forget to like us. We got a like icon there for Facebook, right? It makes the social look good, so please don't forget to drop us like in the homepage. Right, awesome stuff, guys. Well, enjoy the podcast, and yeah, hope you keep coming. All right, hello guys, welcome to the Trading Titans podcast. So on this edition, I'm actually going to be looking at dollar CAD. So again, I'm going to cover currency. And actually, in future podcasts, you're going to see me cover a lot of commodities as well, just to give you guys a feel of the actual profile. Okay, but today we're actually going to be looking at dollar CAD as an asset. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys a few pointers on how I deal with the initiating buyer. Now, if you guys are not familiar with the initiating buyer, it's not a problem at all. If you're new to time price opportunity, on the homepage there is a link to our Udemy course. So if you want to pick that up and give yourself a bit more foundation, that's awesome. And if you decide, of course, that you want to pick up the tool, you got a bit more experience with market profile and you want to just jump into it and you want to get familiar with the TPO chart, then just head over to our Armory where all the products are, and then pick up your TPO copy, and we will basically get it validated or enabled for you. So it should be awesome. So check it out, obviously. Now going forward, this is our updated version, by the way, so it's pretty cool, as you can see. Now, one of the key things I tend to do when I'm looking at the initiating buyer. So for those of you who don't know what the initiating buyer is, it is technically speaking when we're visualizing prints within the value area. Okay, so if I'm getting a print within the value area or within any kind of value, then I will consider that a form of initiating buying. Okay, so it means that it's a very strong confidence move, and I should get follow through. And when you don't get follow through, there are different ways you can actually tackle that, and we'll go through basically some of the when we don't get follow through and it doesn't work, and the kind of initiating tells that we should be looking out for. All right, you're not always going to see initiating tells. Sometimes a big move starts from an accumulation of price action, so it's not always a very snap confidence play. All right, so first and foremost, let's start with the tells that we should avoid. Now, I always tell traders that stay away from initiating tells that come quite late in the week, or or the last 4 hours of the week. These tend to be a lot more associated with profit taking than initiating tells, especially when we're dealing with the currency, for example, that obviously has a lot of liquidity. Right, so here we've got a value area, and within that value area we got what looks like an initiating C period tail. So like I said, you want to stay away from these late tails. C period is actually a Friday, so it's almost the last day of the week, and we're talking here the first the last 3 4-hour sessions, and it's not the greatest point to get involved in the market. Okay, not to say that initiating tells don't sometimes come from that, but it's not a prime kind of spot. Now, if you look at this market, it's already been overextended. We dropped down a little bit and we posted what looked like an initiating tell. You want to avoid that. You want to really check that and make sure it holds. Now, if an initiating tell is going to hold, then what I should do is see the market stabilizing within the value area of this week, the following week. Okay, so this week should kind of be up here, not down here where it is. Now, the moment I see the market sort of sipping back and taking out this initiating tell, I would like to think that the buyers here, if they're working on very tight stops, which they probably are, have probably lost the game, and we're likely going to see this market decline a little lower before there's any movement. Okay, so just be aware of these kind of initiating tells as a sign of weakness. Now, the fact that we didn't get any follow through for me is normally a warning sign. So if I see an initiating tell and I don't get any follow through the following week, I know it's bad news, and if that initiating tell is not there in the market, then there's a lot of weakness from buyers. So I'd have to see another initiating tell before I can move forward on that market. So these are some of the little nuances you'll pick up as traders so that you can stay out of markets that are pretty much weak. Again, we see here the buyers intervene again and we get an initiating tell, and this time we get a pretty strong close. So it's quite convincing for most traders anyway to go on the long side. Now, as we develop through the week, we can actually see, and if we look at for those guys who are more familiar with value areas, right, so we look at these value area highs, right, and we can actually see there's a bit of a defender here. So if I'm going to actually trade this market long off the initiating tell, what I want to see is good initial balance development above the value area high. Okay, so that's one of my key metrics I'll actually look for. Now, if I can actually see that, then I don't want to make a move. Okay, this week obviously we broke down. So however, this being an initiating tell, we see that there was no follow through. As we deal with this asset going forward, we actually see initiating tells where there are follow throughs. Now, this one here was a little bit confusing, okay, because it was during the Federal Reserve and there was a lot of price action. You don't quite know where it's going to turn. Okay, but the key thing is seeing what end of the initiating tell got taken out. And within the following week, we see some good development initially and then a breakdown, and then we take out the tail about 123.75. So that left us a good 90 pips of profit that we could have taken that week on that particular downward move, because there's follow through from that initiating tell. Now, there are other things I look out for just to round up, right? If I see an initiating tell at the bottom of the market, I'm almost 90% certain that it is a late move and it's not much of a confidence play. Okay, so I'm very worried about initiating tells that happen at the bottom of the price action. This market had been declining now for about five weeks before we posted an initiating tell. So normally it's a sign as well that you're at the end of the market if you're seeing late initiating tells. What you want to be able to move on is initiating tells that are a little bit higher up, and there's a bit more of a confidence play. So far this week we haven't seen any. In fact, this market actually moved largely on accumulation, so a little bit more development and then sort of reaccumulation and more development. So it's actually quite a solid move, right? And this is what professional money looks like when it's accumulated in the market and moving higher. When you get these snap reactions where we get these what look like very late confidence plays, this tends to be some laggards, like, traders who are late trying to get involved in the market at that point, and there's a bit of a battle that develops and we can see an initiating tell. You can actually see that same example right here where we get, obviously we don't have the profile look back this far. By the way, we can actually change that on the profile so you can increase the look back so you can get more data. But I can tell you for a fact this was a rising market. So if we're coming out of this and you're seeing an initiating tell quite late in the day, it could mean obviously that this market is cooling, and that's exactly what happened. These sort of late initiating tells actually develop that. So hopefully you guys get the picture now with initiating tells, and that's the best way to do it. So you want to go with initiating tells at the bottom of the market. You want to stay away from initiating tells at the top of the market or are late in the sessions. Okay, so when we're saying late in the session, we're talking about late in the week if it's a weekly profile. And of course, when we work with day profiles, it's a completely different way or approach to the market. Beyond that, guys, awesome stuff. Thanks for this edition of Trading Titans. If you got any questions, guys, just let me know. Don't hesitate. Again, keep checking out our content, and if you got any questions, let me know. If you are interested in any of our programs, just send us an email and I will get back to you personally. If you want me to, just fire an email and say you'd like to talk to me in person, and I'll be happy to chat with you. So beyond that, guys, awesome stuff.